Good morning, Tony Datino, doing my live with Tony from New Smyrna Beach, Florida. It's a week's vacation time here, looking at the waves, though we were following the tropical storms yesterday, and the winds were a lot stronger. And fortunately, the latest tropical storm is moving out into the Atlantic and away from the Atlantic Ocean coast. So other than some showers we were having today and some wind gusts, we were a lot better off today than we were yesterday when we arrived. So I had a chance to do some reading. And obviously when I have these vacation breaks, I bring my stack of magazines and I then pick through them and say, okay, which ones do I want to take on first to make sure I get to them? And the current issue of New Scientist was certainly one of them. And obviously how to live to be 100. It's something I've worked on and focused on for a good number of years because as the work I did at Advent Health Hospital for 14 years, they had a vision statement of living to a healthy 100. And it was always fascinating because of the number of people that within Advent Health have lived to be 100 and how unusual that group of people are and being able to do it in terms of the statistical probabilities. Obviously they had a lot to offer on that and a lot to say, here are things that you need to do if you want to get to be 100. And so here comes this article in the September 2026 issue of New Scientist on how to live to be 100. And I'm not going to take all of these today. I'll probably pick a couple of these over the course of my vacation week on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, do these. But the one I wanted to cover right off the bat was how to nurture the right mindset for living to 100. And when I heard the word mindset, it always gets me to think of not having the right mind that says, I want to live to be 100. So if I want to parse with words, I put a question mark on my intro here that said, mindset, question mark, which is, what does it mean to have the right mindset or the right belief systems? What is that all about? My way of looking at that is having the right desire and passion and energy to want to live to be 100. And so nurturing the right mindset to me is not the right way of introducing the article. From my point of view, it's really, do I have the desire, the passion, the energy, the willingness to set 100-year-old in my life? And so that's the first thing I learned in the Advent work that I did was, do people want to live to be 100? Because if you don't want to live to be 100, then just throw the article away. It's not even worth it. Don't even buy the magazine. So the question that people would always raise back, would you want to live to be 100 if you couldn't recognize and you didn't know who the people were that were around you? You know, would you want to be one of these people that go out into these science fiction desires that I'm going to go put myself in a cold spot, and then when they figure out how the cure whatever I died from, they're going to bring me back 100 years later or 50 years later, and you come back to life 50 years after all your family, kids, loved ones have died, and you are alone. So living to be 100 is an interesting perspective, but what I learned in the work at Advent Health was that if people couldn't have their memories and they didn't have their cognitive function, they could have had the right mindset. Okay, I want to live to be 100, but if they didn't have the right memory or the right cognitive functions, then wow, what's the point of going on if I don't have my family around? I don't have my friends and the people that I associate and socialize with. So which brings us to, in the COVID epidemics and these health scares that keep people isolated, flu, quarantines, it's, if I have to be lonely or I'm isolated, I'm alone, isolated, I don't have friends, I don't go out and socialize, enough of science has come out over the last 5 years alone, that isolation and loneliness is like almost, it's a death sentence. It's like, why am I living? In this article here, How to Nurture the Right Mindset, when it talks about that, really comes right back to it. So this is why I'm saying, is the right mindset, is it really, do you have the right social interactions? Do you have a desire to go out and at least believe that if I go out and socialize with people, I get out of isolation, I can do things. And one of the things that I see in the Memory Institute that we do at the YMCA and Dr. Phillips is even the caregivers of the people that are part of the Memory Institute. The caregivers are just this alone. It's like, God, I have a life and I take care of this person that I love so dearly and I want to see them do well. But it's important for them to have social interactions and to realize there are other elements and parts of their life that they have to get out and not just be a caregiver for their most cherished and loved person, but we got to make sure that they understand that there are links and connections that they need to make because they have to be socially engaged and active. And God, there has been so much work on this. Let's start with relationships. So here goes this article, The Right Mindset. Let's understand the importance to turn to the longest study of human life was ever performed. It has followed people from more than 1,300 of their descendants to identify what makes people flourish physically and mentally. The director of the study says one thing stands out. High-quality relationships. Turns out that social ties are the best predictor of late-life health and well-being. Analysis of the data from the study showed that men who have more positive social relationships and are more involved with community during midlife have a lower risk of depression and better cognition in late life. Well, I'm not sure if there's anything you do about it if you happen to be a senior. So in midlife, God, I was sociable. Now I'm a senior. Now what do? Get sociable. Find people around. There's community centers where there's all kinds of different activities for seniors. And seniors now, if you look at ARP's definition, 55 and older, there are so many things that are being done today and so many people realizing there's a value of bringing seniors 55 and over together. And we clearly see this at the Memory Institute. People who were kind of destitute and felt alone and were depressed and had anxiety about it and just looking at what else is there. Come forward to this because there's activities involved. They're doing physical exercise, they're doing mental exercises, they're doing fun games and things that they're playing. And it's 4 hours for them that is like the highlight of their week. And I cannot tell you the people that are in this workshop, they want to do it 5 days a week. They do it 7 days if you gave it to them. But they want to do it more than 2. And right now it's built around 2. And they want to do it at least 5. And boy, their caregivers tell you what a difference they have in their lives when they go to these 2 days of classes versus the other 5 days in their week. People who help us figure out the solutions to problems, okay? So now you want to be sociable. So now what do you want to do? You want to talk to people. Here's something that worries me. Here's something that bothers me. Anybody been down this road before? And when people come in and they see there are other people that have these challenges, maybe somebody has found a solution. As my mom always used to say, you have to talk to people to learn. So I grew up telling, well, talk to people. You know, the more you talk to people, the more you can learn. Well, what do you want to talk to them about? You know, maybe hey, has anybody figured out how this car doesn't work and what mechanic you go to? Has anybody found a good doctor for your dental health and well-being? Has anybody found a pathway to go out and have a good time and a vacation? And where's there a good place to go? Just talking to people about the relevant things in your life. Just open up social relationships, and people, I have found one thing, people want to help people. It's like genetic. It's like, God, somebody's in need of help, and wow, look at these different floods and hurricanes and disasters. How many people just flood into the areas because they want to have a purpose. They want to have the ability to help. And so I'm going to, pick this up again on Wednesday when I do my next. There is so much in just this 1-2-page article in this issue of how do we get to be 100 and do it well, that I'll probably use this magazine for my week's Live with Tony. So stay tuned. we'll see you back out here on Wednesday, and I'll be picking up some more information that I am so passionate about and I believe in based on my 30 years of working with memory and the difference it makes in people's lives. So have a good week, and we'll see you on Wednesday.